So if you've been watching the videos in this playlist, you know that here in 2025, the Golden Age Daredevil from Lev Gleason Publications has become a character I've just become obsessed with. And so I did a little splurging. I want to show you something. Two things, actually. So I had mentioned in an earlier video how I think my favorite comic book cover is Exciting Comics number 35 with the Black Terror and his kid's sidekick, the Little Black Terror, whatever his name is. That's right, he didn't get a superhero name. The little kid is driving a steamroller over Japanese soldiers while the adult superhero is machine gunning the soldiers as they're being crushed, and they're both smiling like this is the greatest bit of enjoyment these two superheroes could ever have. That was from 1944. I came across a Golden Age Daredevil cover from the same year that has a very similar theme, but it strikes a little bit closer to home for me. So I'm going to show that first. So here we go. Daredevil, issue 22. This is from 1974. You see, that first issue I found and it got me into collecting this character was issue 50. And as I cracked it open here on YouTube and started reading it, you noticed how I was so disappointed that he had already become a backseat character in his own comic to these little kids called the Little Wise Guys, right? Well, they had made their debut in issue 13 and I guess quickly started taking over the comic. Well, here early on, only 9 issues later, you can see they're caught in tar and happily being run over by a steamroller as Daredevil has to swoop in and try and save them. Unfortunately, he does, and they take over his comic. And that brings us to this one here. This is Daredevil issue 80. Now, the series ended at issue 123 or whatever, but issue 80 is the last appearance that the Daredevil ever made in his own comic, and I had to get it. It is, of course, mostly the Little Wise Guys, but Daredevil pops in like he had been wont to do in all these issues with these little guys. Now, I said I splurged a bit. This is more than I care to spend. This issue cost me $170. I don't know if that's the most I've ever spent on a comic, but very uncomfortable about it, but that's what I did. This one here was $40. I did it, okay, so now I gotta live with it. Let's take a look inside. How to build a mighty body and learn how to dance. The rumba, the conga, the samba, and the jitterbug, as well as foxtrot, waltz, and tap dancing. This comic book is 81 years old. I wonder if a similar dancing ad in a 2025 Daredevil comic would have any of these dances. Well, they wouldn't even have an ad for a series of books. You would just watch TikTok to learn the dance. So, different world, right? Here we go. Daredevil. Right off the bat, the splash page is a dog eating a lady's wrist and getting all her blood into his dog slop. Meet the tramp. You've heard the expression, bite the hand that feeds you. In this writer's opinion, there is no clearer example of such an act than the Japanese ungrateful backstabbing treachery. Oh, okay, I see here. We're in the final 2 years of World War II, so we are fully in it, and we are supposed to absolutely, wholeheartedly hate Japanese people. So we've got a propaganda comic here. You would not see any of this in a 2025 comic where we have wholly embraced Japanese culture, especially in the comic world where anime is the most read comic style here in America. And so, okay, great. We've got the Daredevil. He shows up with the Little Wise Guys. Remember, this is early on, but it looks like he's introducing them into the story, and then we're going to be stuck with them, right? And this, I assume, is the hobo from the cover that drives the steamroller. I wonder if he does it in the story. You know, just flipping through, I'm not even reading. I'm angry by this. I had fallen in love with the Daredevil character from his completely insane stories of him battling the Claw. Just exciting, imaginative stories. And here we just have basically nothing. An ugly lady, an ugly guy, talking, walking, sitting, doing nothing. These stupid kids. I hate them. I hate the Little Wise Guys. I don't know why they took over this comic, but they did. And here's the Daredevil, my beloved Daredevil, just coming in to, I guess, scold killed them or praised them. Who even cares? Okay. So we get a little bit of action, busting down the door, knocking this dude out, left, right, center. That's nice. Okay. Got a good page with the Daredevil. Nothing weird, nothing out of the ordinary. It's just some action against a regular guy. No boomerangs, no creatures, no demons. There we go. There's the boomerang. Ask and ye shall receive. Okay, and that ends the story? That was it? Of course that was it, Kevin. This is an anthology. We go right into other stories. The Pirate Prince. What a bizarre style. Look at the two faces. Do they belong in the same story? This looks really weird. Making him build a house at gunpoint? This is bizarre. Sniffer. What in the, is that his hair? He wearing like an orange chef's hat. Check out I guess those are just like travel stickers on his briefcase. They reminded me of the buttons on Jughead's hat from Archie Comics. So you can see, it looks like I've got some pages that have popped out of the staples. I'm sure if this comic was in pristine condition, it would be many, many thousands of dollars, which is the reason why I haven't been able to get an Exciting Comics issue 35. And believe me, I try. There are a couple up there on eBay at all times, but I am not spending thousands upon thousands of dollars on them. Look at that. Torturing him over a candle? Doesn't this Sniffer story seem abnormally long to you? That's a weird thing that the paper has done there, isn't it? It's like it doesn't really attach to anything. Kind of printing error? I don't know. Well, Sniffer gets the girl, and he's still angry about it. Squeaks Does It Again, a crime buster story by Dick Wood. Yeah, I'm not reading a text story in a comic book. I just get a book for that. I mean, illustrate it or don't put it in a comic. Scoop Scuttle. Basil Wolverton from Mad Magazine, right? It's interesting. Of course, this is, the decade before they created Mad Magazine. So, here he is working in the comic field. And it looks like his style, right? Dickie Dean, The Boy Inventor. Wow, it's got all of these have this weird page thing. And it's not like a chopped out missing page either. Unless maybe it was some kind of a muscle building advertisements or what have you, build a radio, those types of things. And somebody cut it out and I don't know. I have a PDF of a scan of it. I could check, see what am I missing, if anything. These Dickie Dean Boy Inventor stories look kind of interesting. Maybe I should read these. I might like them. Here we go, the Claw. So the Claw still gets his own story here in Daredevil. He had his own comic, Silver Streak, which is where Daredevil came from, and it was a Claw comic. I'm glad to see the Claw has followed Daredevil into his comic, get some more stories. Too bad he's not, I would say too bad he's not battling the Daredevil, but I don't want Daredevil always fight the Claw. I just want to see Daredevil do more. But I have more Daredevil comics to read and I will make those videos, and of course we know we do have a finite end to those stories, so the saga of the Lev Gleason Daredevil will be complete shortly with maybe another video or two, and that will be it. It is kind of nice to have, this is weird. I'll read this. I do like the Claw. See, like I showed you with his action figure, it's a red robe, not a green robe. Don't know. Anyways. What was I saying? It is nice when you have like a finite amount of things you need to collect and you can read from beginning to end. And what I mean by that is, even though I have this, issue 22 and issue 80 and that issue 50 that I first kicked off my collection with, it's the Silver Streak comics and Daredevil issues 1 through, I guess, 13 when they introduced the Little Wise Guys. That to me is the complete saga. After that, I don't really care. So here we go. It's a Little Wise Guys story. Let's see how much the Daredevil is even in it. They're on a dangerous construction site. They're doing stupid kid things. See, he's hanging out in their clubhouse. Why are you hanging out with these kids? Go out and fight crime. Go out and fight monsters. What has become of you, Daredevil? All right, so he's operating the machinery so the kids can take off in a rocket. That's weird. He sent the kids off into space? Yeah, there we go. If you can't run them over the steamroller, send them off into orbit. Get rid of the Little Wise Guys. Boy, where are they going? It just slaps you in the face by continuing to put his name at the top and on the cover, and it's not even about him. I sure am whining about this. Why am I not just enjoying this? Look, the kids are having an adventure on an alien planet. Looks like they've got super strength. probably a lighter gravity, tiny people. I bet you this is actually a very fun story, very fun comic. I might even like it. There had to have been a reason why they took off and left him in the dust, took over his comic. It was popular. I mean, to last that many issues, wow, T-Rex. Maybe I'm just missing out with my prejudice and rage towards children's stories. Ah, here we are. In the background, against the wall, with a smile way, way, way behind the stars that took over his comic, the goofy little kids, is the final appearance of the Golden Age Daredevil ever. I know that's not true. They did bring him back in modern times, and he lives again, and I have all of those comics, and I'll read them and make videos about those when I get to them as well. So I'm glad they did bring him back, but this was it. That was the end. Goodbye, Daredevil. That's how he went out. And then he was gone for 35 years, so they brought him back a little bit. He was gone again for another 10, 15 years, 20 years. They brought him back a little bit. He's still around. Hey, look, he gets one more appearance after his final appearance on this, what is this, like a trading card set? A trading card. Collect the set of Lev Gleason comic picture trading cards. Wow. Iron Jaw, Gay Cowboy, Monkey Scratching His Butt. So here we got Daredevils featuring Hot Rod Flanagan, Chapter 11. Looks like he's a pilot. Of course, by now we're well out of World War II. 1951, so yes, we are in the Korean conflict. Oh my God, the Little Wise Guys get a second story in this, and this is just the Little Wise Guy. So you know Daredevil isn't in here. I show you his final appearance 300,000 feet back in the background. And this one does not look fun. They're not going into space and battling creatures. They're just falling on their butt, looking for a seat on the bus. Kind of reminds me of Race for Your Life, Charlie Brown. A little bit, I don't know. Maybe I'd like it. I doubt it. Feed him some poison. You're sitting there thinking, why'd you spend that much money on comics that you actively hate before you even open them? I don't have an answer for you. I don't have a good reason for anything I do. I don't even make sense to myself. Wild Devotion. Oh, like a Disney nature film. Oh, isn't that nice? Attention all Dilly Duncan fans in the world. There you have it. So, well, until next time.